Well, Scott Johnson's running. He used to be on city council. He's already announced to Allen Community Development Corporation that he's running for mayor. He is the weakest leader I've ever seen. And he also recently got divorced. And when he runs, his wife is going to lay all the skeletons on out there. Like, she can't wait for him to run because she will destroy him. So it will be bad. He's going to crash and burn. We're going to have people like that come out to run for mayor. So it'll be interesting. This one will be a big fight. And Jared Patterson, that's another one. Yeah, because depending on what happens on the state level, he's losing support there. And he lives in Frisco. She may. Yeah, I don't know. She might. But I think if John tries to run, she won't. Cold. That's really cold. But that is who she is. That is who she is. If Angelia runs, Brian will run. He told me that. He told me that. He's like, I cannot have her as mayor. Also voted Republican for the first time ever because it's on her record now. Yeah, and that's a plant a seed for the mayor. Why would you do that? She's a staunch Democrat, but she doesn't want to have that issue to deal with at the mayoral race. So it depends on how it goes this year, her and me, because, you know, I was not happy with how she handled herself with the fire union. I thought that was very poor leadership also. And then to kind of go behind my back and tell the city manager, we need to prepare to lose. I was very pissed about that. I'm like, this is not leadership. Leadership doesn't go in with zero conviction and just say, I'm scared. We need to be prepared to lose. You go in and do the right thing. And you do the right thing until it gets done. Like, that's what I think what should be happening. And she was afraid the whole time, and then it won, thank goodness, right? Then all of a sudden hugs and everything, you know, her little thing, her whatever it was, the victory party, right, with her and John. And then after that, it was again cold. You know, like we've gone to so many different things where I'm always the first to come and say hi. And then I was like, you know what? I told my husband, I'm like, I'm done being the first. At this point, I don't give a crap if I talk to Angelia at any event. I don't have to talk to her. So at Bill's birthday party at the 50th, I walked in, I talked to everybody else. She was over there, we passed each other like this, and I didn't say a word. She didn't say anything at all. And you know who else was like that? Marcia. But yeah, and I don't have a lot of respect for her. For some of the stuff that Leslie has told me now too. I do not have a lot of respect for her. So the fact that Angelia is tied to Marcia, you know, kind of makes sense to me. That's fine. Like, you guys be besties. But yeah, they're very, very close. Which is why Marcia, John, and so for Angelia to have to step all over John, that'll be really interesting. Her head on and just be like, no, you're gonna have to fight for this one too. You're gonna have to fight me. If she wants to step all over John, okay, because John's a little bit of he's a weak leader. But I don't think Angelia has done anything for our city that I haven't done, and I've done it better. You know, and I've done things for our city that required me. It wasn't just a whole group decided to do something. Like, I literally initiated new things. I don't have any one thing she's done. And I think, though, that's why I ran the first time, was the person that I was running against, Shona, was just like that. She was a nice person at the beginning, I had heard. But by the end of 6 years, she had turned into this monster. And she was doing that to me. She was she's walking all over me, creating policy and ordinances to specifically cut me out of things. And that's why I was like, you know, I'm done being stepped over. If you want to fight me, you're going to fight me at the ballot. So, yeah. So I pushed back. That's why I ran. So I don't like bullies. I don't care if they are 300-pound firefighters or they're black women. I don't like bullies. I don't know Gopal well enough. I hardly ever spend time with him. But to not tell anybody that he was going to run and making a huge announcement on Facebook and then jump to India the next day, like, that was calculated. That's probably the ballsiest thing I've ever seen Gopal do. I didn't think he was capable of that. I think Stephanie's husband's gonna win though. He's a very negative person. At least Gopal comes off as positive, and it's harder to win when you're a negative person. Very negative. Because he was trying to, get a seat on one of our boards and commissions, and so I met with him, and it's like, oof, not the right kind of person for council. The right kind of person for any board. I would never appoint him to any board. So Stephanie is different. She's I think very reasonable. She does her homework. She makes decisions. Sometimes she goes yes, fix the group. Sometimes she says no. I think she's actually a really good governor. This guy, I don't know. So but I'm a little worried because he knows how to campaign, because his wife knows how to campaign, and it's two different things: governing and campaigning. And sometimes the best governor doesn't make it because they know how to campaign. We already know. Laura said she saw Stephanie's husband meeting with the firefighters, and I'm like, so that's what they're using. He's going to be the candidate. That John is handling himself, and the boys, and Marcia. So she's not doing anything. She's just very pissed about his poor decisions. So, which they are for. And as a mom, I'd be pissed too. I'd be so pissed. So yeah, I don't have a lot of respect for her. There's a lot of things that I'm hearing about her too that are starting to show that is true, and so I'm like, ugh. I mean, this is a problem when you're telling people you want to be the first lady of Frisco. She's so green. You don't go around saying that. And I'm like, you guys don't. He shouldn't get married until after he loses the mayor race. Then let's see if she sticks around. But let them live their lives, But there's some bad decisions being made. Kids said no way in hell, and they weren't going to be there. And they were like, "What are you thinking? Why would you?" And they were the last to find out. And his boys were pissed. No, we're not coming. We're not coming to this thing. Like, you need to slow down. So they forced him to not do it, which is the right thing to do. And Leslie's like, they are grown men. They can make their own decision and tell their dad what they think. And if he doesn't want to listen to them, he doesn't have to. But I think it was poor taste. Poor taste. And poor taste of Marcia. If this is happening and she knows about the ring, like they went shopping together, she should be talking to Leslie as woman to woman and saying, hey, I know this is difficult, but I love your husband. I don't know if she does, but I love him. I want to, work as well as we can together. None of that, right? So it's very poor taste. That's why I don't have a lot of respect.